Okay, so I figured with a little free time here, I would take the opportunity to go over some of the more successful musky baits that I had this season. I had a couple fish, like a couple doubles, or I shouldn't say doubles, but two fish on one lure, two fish on another. Glide baits. I caught a couple fish on glide baits, caught a couple fish on top water. But as far as like consistency goes and developing a pattern, I figured I would choose my three most successful lures. So the first one, like coming in at number 3, would be the Mag Swimmin Dog, the shallow Mag Swimmin Dog from Musky Innovations. This one's pretty chewed up. I caught a couple pike on it as well as 3 muskies. Had a couple other follows close to the boat. Caught my first figure 8 fish, official figure 8 fish on this lure. It did really well for me when the bite was super tough this summer and I couldn't get fish to react to anything, pulled paws, bucktails, anything. So this fish, or this lure, put 3 fish in the boat for me when times were toughest. Obviously, I have fixed it several times and there's a couple other spots that could use touched up before next season, or maybe I'll just buy another one. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, this is number 3, an awesome bait. They're coming out with an 8-inch shallow version, just like this bait, and I'm probably gonna have to pick me up about 6 of those because these things are fantastic. The body roll is unparalleled, and I hate to diss on Chaos Tackle at all, but the Poseidon has a lot of trouble keeping up with the subtlety and the body roll of the Mag Swimmin Dog compared to the Chaos Tackle Poseidon. All right, moving on to number 2 this year, a Suic. I love Suics, love Divemin Rises. Caught 6 fish on a Suic, technically 5 on a Suic, 1 on a bobby bait, but still Divemin Rise, same kind of deal. This was by far my biggest producer in the previous year. Now, again, I don't know if that's causation or correlation. I have a ton of confidence in Suics. I have a ton of confidence in Divemin Rises, knowing that eventually these lures are going to pay me back. So, obviously, a ton of confidence in Divemin Rises. Now, whether that's causation or correlation to me to me catching more fish resulting in me throwing these more often, I don't know. But I really enjoy the action of the Divemin Rises. I know that the jury is kind of out on whether to use fluorocarbon leaders or steel leaders. I've heard advantages to both. I tend to use fluorocarbon, and I should probably do some more experimentation with single strand steel leaders when it comes to Divemin Rises. But as far as a producer, this was my number 2 this year, and I love these baits. Suic does an awesome job. Bobby baits, awesome job. I haven't yet gotten into the more boutique or higher end Divemin Rises. I've looked into some of those. I really wouldn't mind trying to get my hands on a Kodiak Navin and see what happens with that. I've seen some really positive things about those, but we'll see what happens with show season on the way. Okay, so coming in at number 1 would be my Lake X Lures Toad. I love these things. When I needed a fish this year and couldn't get a bite or buy a bite, the Toad put fish in the boat. If you've watched any of my videos, you've seen how successful this lure was for me this year. I can't say enough good things about it. I need to try and repair this one, as I think this one has technically 7 fish on it, accounting for lost fish. And this thing has been chewed many times. It's like halfway falling apart. I love these lures. I love the Lake X top waters as well, but the Toad has just been super clutch this year. It's really the first musky plastic that I've developed a lot of confidence in and have no problem throwing really at any time of the year, in any water situation. I will say the one thing you need to be cautious of when throwing big plastic lures like this is if you're in a lake with a lot of standing timber, be conscious of your bait depth, where it's running, because it is a huge pain in the butt to try and fish these out of wood. I've had to do that a few times this year. but fortunately, it's not been too bad to get these lures back, and that's just part of fishing. Sometimes you end up losing lures. I've lost a few this year, and that just happens. Some of you may be wondering why there is no bucktail, because everyone is like, muskies love bucktails. People catch more muskies on bucktails than any other lure that exists in musky fishing. And to be honest, this year I gave the bucktails a pretty good shot. I had one nip me boat side, and he just didn't quite get hooks on a 9-10 combo. And I don't know what it is. I've thrown bucktails a lot, you know, in some of those windy conditions when you would think that those fish would be sacking up, and maybe it's a confidence issue. I feel more confident throwing some of these other baits that are pull pause or a plastic lure that had put fish in the boat for me leading up to that point in time. But for whatever reason this year, the bucktail bite was not on for me, and that may change in the future. A couple of years ago, the bucktail was the ticket for me, but for some reason this year it wasn't. So I know that variability can change depending upon different bodies of water and different lure preferences, as well as different fish preferences depending on the body of water that you fish. So maybe next year will be the bucktail's year, who knows. But these were the 3 baits for me that I did best on, and hopefully if you don't have them in your arsenal, you'll consider adding them, because they produce for me time and time again. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'd really appreciate it if you like and subscribe. If you like the tackle tip type videos, please don't hesitate to leave a comment. Let me know that you liked it. Let me know that you learned something. Anyway, I'll catch you guys in the next one.